This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health. Dr. Joel Wallach. Or start the show. Hello, everybody. AJ, make sure that you are on speaker view, please. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Daily with Doc. My name is Becca Dukes, and I'm excited to be able to be here with you as we are focusing kind of on the beginning today. Well, folks, you are in for a treat as we are going back and sharing information that started this whole crusade. So thank you so much for joining us here. If you are watching on any of the live streams or a replay and you would like to join us live, you may do so by going to zoom.dailywithdoc.com Monday through Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific time. That is 1 to 2 Mountain, 2 to 3 Central, 3 to 4 Eastern. And if you're beyond that, please use whatever, whether it's Google or Alexa or Siri or whatever you use, and say, what time is it in my time zone at 12 p.m. Pacific time? And they will be happy to tell you and help you figure out exactly what time it is where you are at. So, folks, if you were invited by somebody specific, make sure that you get back with that person and say, thank you. Thank you for sharing this information with me. And if you have any questions, they are your first point of contact in getting answers. So this is a resource for an amazing community that is built up as independent associates, distributors, those that are health coaches, certified holistic health coaches, massage therapists, chiropractors, naturopaths, surgeons even, heart doctors, medical doctors. Folks, there are no limits when it comes to who needs health and the opportunity that we have in sharing this information, because it applies to anybody and everybody. Whether you have 2 legs, 4 legs, or you slither across the ground, we all need nutrition. Now, my name is Becca Dukes, and as the hostess of this program and also the Director of Student Services for the Institute of Holistic Health, it is my honor to be able to provide this information to you. If you, so as we're listening, you're going to be hearing Dr. Wallach mention a couple things. You can find those on our website, dailywithdoc.com, like the good foods, bad foods list. You can find previous shows that have aired on our program and also articles that are beneficial in helping you make that empowered decision when it comes to your own health. Because, folks, we are not chemical deficient when we have poor health conditions applying or occurring within our bodies. We are most definitely and more commonly than not nutritionally deficient. Now, yes, there are some chemical things that happen within our environment that can cause poor health conditions. Well, even in those conditions, when it comes to what the body needs, it will always need the proper nutrition so that as it's creating healthier cells, it has what it needs to do so. So this program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, nor is it meant to treat, diagnose, or cure any disease, nor are the products that may be mentioned on this program. But folks, we were divinely created. And when we give our bodies what it needs, it absolutely can do some amazing things. Now, the products are not meant to treat, diagnose, or cure disease. But if you take a look at what is involved and what has been synergistically formulated within the products that are mentioned, and you go to reputable websites like PubMed.gov, where they take and post research on individual nutrients, you're going to see that the body really, truly does benefit and thrive better when they have these nutrients. But most importantly, when they're not there, poor health conditions and disease are. So without further ado, I am honored to bring to the screen with me, are you ready, Doc? The doctor that started this whole entire crusade. The doctor who found as a 9-year-old child, when he was having some physical and mental issues all within him, he noticed it. He took notice. The doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with him or what to do. He started his research and he figured it out. And we are honored to be able to benefit from now 7 decades, 7.5 decades, Dr. Wallach.
Yes.
Because at 9 years, yeah, at 9 years old, you went to the library when other kids were going to recess to figure out what is it that might be affecting you. So Dr. Joel Wallach, folks, he has a Bachelor of Science in Plant and Soil Sciences. He also has a Doctor of Veterinary Medicine. As he was working his way through college, he was working in the pathology lab, where he, through his years, have done almost 30,000 autopsies, whether it was him doing the autopsies himself or doing reviews of autopsies on over 452 species. That includes humans, folks. He has 3 postdoctorates in pathology. He studied comparative pathology, which studies humans and animals and doing comparisons. And he found that there's correlation. When nutrients were present, health was there. When they weren't, it wasn't. And he took all of those dots, connected them, and put them together in now 26 publications. The second one is actually held as a national treasure in the Smithsonian Museum. And he is the veterinarian to all veterinarians. So I can't think of a better person to help us with our pets than Dr. Joel Wallach. And I forgot one thing. When he was fired for finding the first non-human case of cystic fibrosis in a Ricci monkey and proving that it was not genetic, that it was nutritional, they fired him. So he went on, and that just opened up the door to him being able to teach nutrition at a naturopathic college and become a naturopathic doctor himself. Which, Doc, you've actually had clinics where you saw patients, and that just wasn't enough for you, was it?
No. It was just the beginning.
It was just the beginning. Well, Dr. Wallach, this is the beginning of the rest of our lives. So share with us a little bit more on your life and why you do what you do.
Okay. Well, basically, what made me different, I was a farm kid, and I'm noticing that animals that had diseases like humans had, we had nutritional things we would give them. And the disease would go away in the animals. And next year we'd give them these nutritions, and they never got the disease again. In humans, the doctors are constantly giving medicines to relieve symptoms. The patients are happy because they don't have the pain and the symptoms anymore, but the disease continued to progress, and eventually they would die from the disease, even though they were getting this medication to relieve the symptoms. And so I learned the big difference between symptom issues and terminal issues. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those things where the patient is like, to in a couple hours get rid of the pain they had for years. The doctors appreciated the fact that the patients came back to them every week or every month for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And really should have gotten rid of it in a couple of weeks. Okay. And that's why health insurance came along, to help pay for this constant flow of dollars to the doctors. And it's one of those things where we've kind of figured it out. We deal, gosh, with over, let's see here, 600 different diseases. We deal with over 600 diseases. We actually have over 2,000 different products to deal with these diseases. We prevent them, we reverse them, and we're not in the business of just relieving symptoms. We're in the business of preventing them and reversing them. And so we're very, very excited about what's going on here. We have some big issues coming up here in the next week. We're going to be on the George and Ori show next Tuesday. Yeah, next Tuesday from 10 to midnight to Pacific time. And I'm just so very, I mean, he has one of the biggest information programs. He has in his organization, he's got 125 million people. Okay. So it's just an honor to be able to speak with him, for him, and do what he asked me to do. Been doing this for, I think, God, many years. I think it's almost 7 years I've been doing this with George and Ori.
Oh, it's been more than that, Dr. Wallach.
It's been longer than that?
And yeah, it's been much longer with that, because actually before George and Ori was Art Bell, and you were doing the program with Art Bell, and then George took over for Art. And I think that's been at least 15, 20 years.
Larry,
quite a few years.
We've been sharing information for quite a while.
Well, and it's because of a program, Dr. Wallach, like that I was able to find you and make that massive improvement in my own life, which is why I do what I do.
We always thank you for sharing your story, because your story is, what should I say, in one way or another, common to millions of people around the world. And your story, your success story, okay, was changing your diet, adding nutritional supplements to your program, and getting rid of these diseases. It's just an amazing thing that doctors are still scratching their heads. They can't figure it out because they don't have the training. And what should I say, in some cases, they're just too arrogant to say, well, we're going to go get in line and get some of this information from Wallach and his team. And they're not going to do that. Now, if they didn't teach it to us in medical school, it ain't worth listening to, is their attitude. And so that's very, very sad for the patients when proven, so many awards given, so many thousands, probably when you count them, all the different diseases we've dealt with, we've actually saved millions of people, okay? Over the 75 years, we've saved over millions of people with this information, with our products, and sometimes with just information. And so it's one of those things where, let's see here, what's the name of this little educational thing?
Well, Dr. Wallach, Longevity sponsored this thing called the Audacity of Health, which is the Dr. Joel Wallach documentary, folks. So if you go to DIYwithDocWallach.org, you'll be able to watch this video called The Audacity of Health. It is an amazing 40 minutes.
How much does it cost?
It's nothing.
It's free.
It's absolutely free for people to get information
Everybody
that can
can
change
afford
their
this.
lives.
Everybody can afford this.
Everybody, Doc. And if you've got access to the internet, you can get to it. If you're listening to this program, I'm like 100% positive that if you go to DIYWITHDOCWALLACH.org, you will be able to see the audacity of health. Now, if you're on your phone, make sure that you turn it so it's landscape so you can see the whole thing. But Dr. Wallach, it's such an impressive, well done documentary that just goes through and shares about your life and the impact that you have made on society, and not just the human part of society, but the animal part of society. And there's lots of reputable people that are on there sharing their experience and their viewpoints of you as well.
Yeah, well, kind of a preview of that. We have, of course, the flip chart, 90 for Life Crusade for Humanity in the World. It goes in, it's got, I think, what, 77 pages or something like that. And it goes into so many different diseases that are said to be incurable and blah, 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 blah. We were able to get rid of them. And famous people, we're talking about movie actors, we're talking about professional athletes, we're talking about Olympic athletes, we're talking about people who are wealthy business people. We're talking about government people, presidents and embassy ambassadors. And they were on deathbed and they got on our program and they're here today and they told their stories and their pictures and their stories are in the flip chart. And so rather than just make a paragraph about them in some book coming up, we decided we're going to do the flip chart so you could actually see these people. Say, well, I know who that guy is. I know who that gal is. And so then you'll be more interested because you know of them, because you watch their movies and you listen to their music and you read their books and so forth. And these are internationally famous people. We have helped them get rid of their life-threatening diseases. That their point of health was that the doctors are saying, well, there's not much more we can do. And, you expect to die in minutes or hours or days, but the end is here. And so that's why they're so cooperative with us. And sure enough, when they came back alive and were able to go back to work and be with their families, their loved ones in the world, they said, is there anything we can do for you, Wallach? And so I said, we're going to do a flip chart or something. Would you give us a picture of yourself and a little bit of your story? Would you write down your story? And what do we have? About a dozen of them in this flip chart.
Yeah, there's more than a dozen stories on 72 pages. And then we also focus on some of the nutritional deficiencies. You had mentioned 600 different poor health conditions that are directly linked to and associated with nutritional deficiencies.
That's correct.
So with over 600, Dr. Wallach, poor health conditions, and these are symptoms, folks, there's a chance that your symptoms fall within these 600.
That's correct.
So if their symptoms fall within the 600, Dr. Wallach, is there hope?
Oh, absolutely. We have an enormous long time experience with millions of people with these same issues. And so you have, what should I say? What can you lose by giving it a shot? Give it, I always say, give it 90 days because there's 90 essential nutrients in there. Okay, give us 90 days, follow the information, follow the instructions to the letter, like a recipe for somebody's favorite dish. Okay, follow the recipe. It's and again, we have, as you point out, we got, I don't know, 26 or 27, I don't even know how many it is now, 26, 27 best-selling books goes into these 600 different diseases. And it's one of those things where people, they just drop their mouth open. They can't believe we have the answers. Well, how come doctors don't do that? Well, they make their money by making you feel good. They get rid of the symptoms, and people are happy about that because they suffered for many, many months or many, many years. And, within a couple of weeks or a month, you get rid of those symptoms you had for 25 years. You just think that doctor is one of God's, one of God's angels. Okay. And in a way it is, but then they should have gone the next step and gotten rid of it completely. But they didn't want to do that because then the income stream would stop. So by relieving the symptoms, you had to come back every month, get your prescription fulfilled again, over and over and over and over and over again. You're happy because your health insurance from your workplace paid for it. You didn't have to pay for it. And you got your results that you wanted. You want to get rid of the symptoms. So everybody was happy. Okay.
Yeah, everybody was happy, but Doc, that's just masking symptoms.
That's correct.
So let's go back to some of the things that you did as a veterinarian. Okay.
Okay.
Like your first mass die-off of lambs that was dumped on your lap on Christmas break. Nobody else was there. Can you tell us a little bit about what you found with the thyroid and how just that temperature change at night affected them?
Yeah, well, they all died of hypothermia. I think it was what, 1,000?
You said 500.
Yeah, okay.
500, and they brought to you 50.
Yeah, 500 died in one night. They were perfectly healthy, but the temperature dropped below freezing, and these lambs couldn't tolerate that. They couldn't maintain their body temperature. They all died of hypothermia because their thyroids were all dead. Okay, they weren't getting all the nutrients they needed. They weren't getting their trace mineral salt blocks with all the minerals in it. Okay, and so they died of hypothermia because their thyroids weren't working. And we're talking about 500 died in one night. Okay, that's pretty spectacular when you think about that. And so that was published. And these are the sort of things, they're in the books, because I'm dealing with, what should I say, thousands of people in over 80 countries around the world. And so I get stories and outbreaks and stuff. And we also have another thing. What's this?
Well, before you go into that, don't go away from the story, Dr. Wallach, because you tested the water. And what did you find in the water?
What had nitrates in it.
And how does that affect the body?
Well, the nitrates actually interfere with thyroid function. Okay, and the thyroid couldn't maintain body temperatures, and so they all died of hypothermia. 500 died in one night from hypothermia. Are you kidding me?
Right. So when you've got a lamb that can't maintain his body temperature because of thyroid issues, you have a human that's always cold. And a lot of times other symptoms are they either can't lose weight or they can't put on weight and they're super thin. Could that also be considered and related to nitrates? Is it nitrates or nitrites?
Well, nitrites are actually, what should you say, a different form of nitrates. The same
Okay.
thing. It's just like iron. When you have iron that's oxidized, okay, but rust and iron are the same. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay, so you discovered the cause of that.
Yes. It didn't take but a few minutes. Yeah, it didn't take but a few minutes. When you have that many dying, you take a blood sample, okay, and their nitrate levels in their blood were off the roof, and called into the weatherman. Sure enough, the temperature had dropped down below freezing before dark and stayed below freezing until the sun came up in the morning. But 500 were dead in the middle of the night. they died of hypothermia because they couldn't maintain their body temperatures.
And that's really sad, because as a farm kid, I know when you have sheep and it gets cold, they all bundle together.
Yeah, they huddle up.
To help. Yeah, they huddle up to help keep each other warm, and they weren't able to do that. So that was published, and that opened you up, Dr. Wallach, for bigger and greater things.
Yes, well, that was one of my first big publications, obviously. And it's one of those things where most people really didn't appreciate the landmark thing that we had discovered. Okay. And they thought it was all just some weird thing that happened. It'll never happen again. But it just happens all the time in different ways. And so that's why we came up with the idea that we have to have a program that provided all the known essential nutrients, the mighty 90. And that's where that came in. We can't just say, okay, we're going to have them take more vitamin A, supplement with calcium. That wouldn't work. Okay. And so we came up with the 90 essential nutrients, the mighty 90. And that's where the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack came on. The original was a Healthy Start Pack. And for Theo Ratliff, because he had all those bone diseases, and he didn't want to do the what do you call it? The boiled bones. Okay, he didn't want to do
bone broth.
Bone broth, yeah. And so we came up with the
Glucogel. One of my favorites.
I came up with a glucogel. I'm the guy who invented the artificial thing, okay, to give the raw material to make cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, all those kinds of things, bone matrix, okay. And so we added the glucogel to the Healthy Start Pack, and it became the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, okay. And we gave that, okay, and we gave that to Theo, and it took him 3 months, 90 days. He came back full, got his job on professional basketball team back. He played for 9 more years, made $100 million, in contracts because we rebuilt him with a few bucks worth of vitamins and minerals.
Absolutely amazing, Dr. Wallach. What your research has turned into, and the amount of people, the caliber of people that have found the benefits of your program. Now, Doc, with the research paper that you had published on those lambs, you got the attention of Marlon Perkins of Mutual Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
That is correct.
And what happened, Dr. Wallach, when you got his attention?
Well, things started happening locally, nationally, internationally. And, he sent me to Africa for some of his stuff to get done. And then when he got a big award. And so he called me back from Africa to be the pathologist and the veterinarian in the zoos, because all the bears were dying in the zoos all over the world from liver cancer. Okay, was it a genetic thing in bears? No. They're getting liver cancer because of their diet. Oh, they had the same diet the beer drinkers have. That's why beer drinkers all had liver cancer. Okay, why was that? They were eating peanuts, and peanuts had a fungus growing on it to produce the substance that caused liver cancer. So we got them off of the
peanuts.
Yeah, we got them off of the peanuts. They couldn't sell peanuts in the zoos anymore, and so they sold popcorn and stuff like that. And immediately the death from liver cancer in bears stopped in the zoos, and wild bears all over the world that were in where people would, they're in parks and they could go through the park with their car and they would buy the peanuts and they'd throw the peanuts to the bears, and the bears would get liver cancer in those parks. Well, we made them change and went to, again, popcorn, and it stopped all the liver cancer in bears all over the world and in the parks, wild animal parks, as well as in the zoos. And so beer drinkers would stay away from peanuts. They would reduce the risk of liver cancer to almost zero.
Absolutely.
It's not the alcohol in the beer that made the liver cancer. It was the fungus on the peanuts that grew in the ground. You can eat all the nuts you want that grow on the trees. There's no fungus that grows on the nuts out of the trees.
So, okay, so you actually were one of the first veterinarians to train veterinarians within the zoos. You were looking for the canary in the mine.
That's correct.
Now, from that, you went to the Yerkes Primate Center.
Yes.
What happened at the Yerkes Primate Center? And for those of you who don't understand primates, that's monkeys.
Okay. Well,
and that's a pretty important institute.
Yeah, they were the research institute for space. Okay, for people who were involved in space. Okay.
For NASA.
Yes, NASA. And so I got to be on that research team. And it just so happened that this one group of monkeys was under the sort of watchful eyes of one particular group, and they were all getting the disease. Okay. They're all getting the disease. They were getting what?
Cystic fibrosis.
Cystic fibrosis. So to be a terrible birth defect, but all these monkeys, they weren't related. They weren't related.
And wasn't cystic fibrosis only a human disease?
Not until it showed up. I found it in the Yerkes monkeys. It never had been found in the Yerkes Primate Center. Okay. And then when I did the research, fed the nutrients to the other monkeys, they all got better, wrote a paper, put it together. It would be an enormous benefit for humanity. And so I had to put it into the leadership of the Yerkes Primate Center so they could approve the article. And they fired me. And they put a gag order on me so I couldn't tell the world why they fired me. Okay. Because they didn't want to let people know they didn't know what they were doing. They were feeding these monkeys that got the liver cancer. They got
For the cystic fibrosis.
Cystic fibrosis. They were getting
like lots of fruits and vegetables.
They were just giving them fruit. They say, well, this is what monkeys eat out in the wild. They eat fruit. But the fruit they were getting here weren't growing in the same place that those trees were growing in Asia, where they came from. Okay, so they weren't getting the nutrients. Plants cannot make minerals. Okay, plants cannot make minerals. If they're not in the soil, it's not in the plants. And it's one of those things where, which I say, that set me off in that direction because it was very obvious. And I started out by selling vitamins and minerals where they had.
Thank you. One of your first things, Dr. Wallach, was plant-derived minerals.
Yeah, there you go.
Just that.
Yeah, plant-derived minerals. There was a mine, okay, up in Idaho, okay, plant-derived.
Utah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I actually sold them to the naturopathic doctors and the veterinarians, okay. And I said, I might as well go to school. I'm here doing this. I might as well become a naturopathic doctor myself so I can help people. That's how that all started.
Well, Dr. Wallach, we've got a couple comments and questions, which I think is absolutely great, because Nancy had mentioned, about the runoff from the fertilizer and the nitrates that actually poisoned the lambs. That the blooming minerals offered by Youngevity would be a better option as they have no nitrates or nitrites. And I actually use them with my own plants and garden. And since plants don't make minerals, and if they're not in the soil, they're not in the plants,
you're not going to get
or
them.
if they're, you're not going to get them. So being very intentional, folks, when you're growing your own food, using the Bloomin' Minerals is absolutely going to be one of the best ways to make sure that what your efforts of growing are actually containing the things that you're hoping it contains.
If you have a garden, we have the 40-pound, I think it's 40-pound bags of the Bloomin' Minerals.
There are 40-pound bags. There's 4.5 pounds. There's 2.5 pounds. There's even liquid that can be added to the water and sprayed. And then for us humans, we have it in a form called plant-derived minerals that also comes in flavors, cherry mints or strawberry kiwi mints, which a shot of that, which is just 2 tablespoons, 1 ounce a day per 100 pounds, that in itself makes a huge impact on our life because of so many things that are related to mineral deficiencies. Now, Dr. Wallach, we've got a question in regards to your expedition in saving the white rhino. The question is, were they becoming extinct because of poaching or because of nutritional deficiencies? What was it? Yes, Rhino Express. And while we're talking about that, we had a question come up in the chat wanting to know where to get your books, Dr. Wallach. And folks, you can get Dr. Wallach's books. This is the first one. I love it. At drjwallach.com. That is drjwallach.com. Rhino Express is a great little adventure book that you wrote, Dr. Wallach, on your expedition in saving the white rhino. So was it because of poaching, or was it because of what?
Okay, well, because as farmers would move around in Africa, they moved into the places that had a lot of growth because they had lots of minerals going in there from floods and from mountains grinding up rocks and the streams bringing the minerals down into the valleys. And so these are the places that the rhino set up housekeeping. Well, when farmers saw that, they chased the rhino out and put it in gardens. And so the rhino got pushed into places that didn't have the minerals in the soil. The rhino were happy because they were getting grass, but grass only needs 3 minerals. The rhino needs 60. And so they were missing 57 minerals, is why they didn't do well. And they were down to I think 350 actual count. And Marlon Perkins put me on that project to find out if there's anything that could be done. Make a long story short, we saved them. And right now there's over 15,000 or something. I think
there's 15,000.
Yeah.
And we're talking about just the white rhino. Over 16,000 now.
Rhino. And so I caught, let's see here, I caught over 200 of them with a tranquilizer that was like 1,000 times stronger than the anesthesia they use in humans. And the darts, the size of these little batteries you use in a,
like in your remote.
Yeah, a little remote battery. It's like maybe an inch long and a quarter of an inch in diameter. And those batteries were taken out of the tube, and we put little fluffy feathers on the back end. And we put these drops of this new drug out called M99, etorphine, okay? And just about 1 or 2 cc's, like a half a teaspoon would knock down a 600-pound white rhino. So you didn't want to get a mistake and give it to yourself, okay? But so I was able to catch over 200 of them. We put them in these shipping boxes, sent 1 male and 2 female, and each one in a separate box, shipped them to wild animal parks and to zoos. And that's why we're able to save them, because of that drug. And so I caught more white rhino than anybody else in the world with that drug. And it gives you the whole story of that in this book, Rhino Express. And it has pictures of the process. has pictures of the process, okay, of catching them
Yep.
in this book.
Now, Dr. Wallach,
Yeah, put them in a box and shipping them.
as I was reading, Dr. Wallach, you did more than just capture them and send them around the world, but you actually did some conservation efforts there in their natural habitat that then helped create preserves that they were able to flourish in.
Yeah, well, that's where we got the idea for blooming minerals. Okay, because we put that fertilizer into the soil there, into those valleys, and the plants took them up, and the white rhino were able to flourish.
Well, that's fantastic, Dr. Wallach. So we have hands up, and I have questions here as well. The first thing, because this is a pet thing and you have given recommendations to pet owners in the past, the first thing I want to do is give a report on one of the past recommendations that you had given. And Anne is happy to report that you had recommended putting colloidal silver in her dog's ears because her dog was continually getting ear infections. And she says that in 2 days, the ear infection was gone. So here, we don't have to let our pets suffer. Colloidal silver has been around for hundreds, if not thousands of years, Dr. Wallach.
It was used proactively to prevent and reverse diseases. Let's see here, 500 years ago, 600 years ago. Okay. And so when they would have outbreaks of terrible diseases, would wipe out whole villages, they started using the colloidal silver to stop those very, very terrible outbreaks of diseases. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they started just using them at the beginning of every outbreak season. They start using it before the disease would come. They started preventing. They realized they could prevent these diseases. They didn't have to wait until you get the disease to take the stuff. Take it first, and then you won't get the disease. And so now you think about it. All the lectures I've given over the past, 75, 80 years, whatever it is, okay? All the lectures I've given, I go around the world giving lectures. People want to run up and give me a hug and, give me a kiss on the cheek and all that kind of stuff, and breathe on me and cough on me and all this kind of stuff. And I've never had to be in a hospital. I had a cold or so once in a while. I never had to go into a hospital for a terrible life-threatening disease because I've been taking the colloidal silver. Let's see here, 10, 15 minutes before breakfast, 10, 15 minutes before lunch, 10, 15 minutes before dinner time. And then why before? Okay, well, that's because I want you to make sure you're getting all of it absorbed. Okay, and that raises your system's efficiency. It raises your immune system's efficiency because the colloidal silver kills all viruses. Now, repeat that. Colloidal silver kills all viruses, even the ones, that we get, like penicillin. Penicillin only kills 2 cold viruses.
Penicillin is for bacteria, though.
Yeah, that's true. For bacteria.
Okay. So if there's bacteria on our food that we're eating, of course, we're not going to know it. But if we take the colloidal silver before, then it's in our system to help prepare our system to not be affected by that bacteria that could be harmful in our food. Is that the concept that we're looking at?
That's the concept, because you want to be taking it beforehand. You don't want to take the minerals. You don't want to take the colloidal silver 10 minutes after your meal. You want to take it 10 minutes before the meal. Okay. And so everything's in the right, what should I say, state of contact. Okay. And it's been going on for more than 400 or 500 years. We have an enormous amount of collected information by all these villages around the world. It's universal that the colloidal silver does not kill anybody. Okay. Colloidal silver has been one of the greatest, what should I say, boons to humanity when it came to getting rid of infectious diseases from viruses, bacteria, fungus, and yeast. There's no other, what should I say, like penicillin only kills a few bacteria.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Wallach, let's go into also what the nutritional side of health and wellness is, as we're looking at, our pets. A lot of them have whiskers, Doc. So if we go whiskers to wellness, right? let's take some of those questions. And
Whisker babies.
The first, our whisker babies. That's right. That's right. So we were talking about the dog with ear infection. How about, I have a client who has a cat, 5 months old, and he keeps getting ear mites. So ear mites, that's like a little parasite, right?
Well, mite is kind of like a tick, a microscopic tick.
Okay.
Okay. And so this is where I'm going to make sure that everybody's getting everything they need. They need all 90 essential nutrients. They need the colloidal silver in their drinking water. And in their ears, because dogs get problems, the cats get problems, you want to make sure that they're getting the, let's see here, what? I'm going to make sure that they're getting the colloidal silver, but they also need the what? There's another.
The Arthrydex.
Yeah, there you go, Arthrydex. They need the Arthrydex. And the Arthrydex will kill all viruses, all fungus, all yeast, all bacteria.
And it does that because of its nutritional components, right?
It supports
so it strengthens the body, supports the immune system. Absolutely. And then there's also the PerPETual, Dr. Wallach, and PerPETual Plus that gives more antioxidants in helping our fur babies. So, Doc, with them not wearing shoes and being so close to the ground, and then if they're out in public areas or even on the farm in areas where things like herbicides or pesticides are being used, that can truly affect their health, can't it?
Of course. Any bug that can affect us or another animal can affect your pet, your baby. The Arthrydex is a good place to support the immune system, and it's good for mice, hamsters, rabbits, cats, dogs, horses, ponies.
How about birds?
Birds, oh yeah. Canaries, parrots, crows, Arthrydex is good for all species of animals and people. Okay. And what should I say? We do have some of the stuff for parasites you can put in the animal's ears if you actually see the bugs. Okay. And
yeah, so for mites, there is the I think they changed it. It was the antimicrobial. Now it's called the GI cleanse, which is for parasites. But you can actually apply that topically. So just one drop, then either with a Q-tip or a drop into the ear, and then rub their ear around. That has herbs in it that have been proven, and they're extracts from those herbs that have been found over decades of study through herbology to kill parasites, including mites. So I'm so glad that you brought that up. And that is part of the Good Herbs line that Longevity has. Again, that's the GI cleanse that can be purchased. And it's just a couple drops in each ear rubbed around. Now, thank you so much for that, Dr. Wallach. Let's go to a hand that is up before we go to the next question. And then the next person after that, I know, has one of the questions that I had on my list. So, Stephanie, Go ahead and unmute yourself. Welcome to Daily with Doc. What questions do you have for Dr. Wallach today?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, excellent. And thank you. I've just started watching you, and just thank you for the team. I'm sorry, have a question in regards for my husband. He just turned 68 last week, and he had kidney cancer, removed the whole right kidney out of him 2.5 years. And 2.5 years later, 3 months ago, on the 6th, June 6th, he was diagnosed with stage 1 prostate cancer, Gleason 10. And when they did a PET scan, they found something glowing in his pancreas. What they found was that the kidney cancer that they removed, they found that it metastasized into his pancreas. And so I've been watching you guys just a couple of times, and we've cut out in the diet no wheat, white, rye, oat, barley. We're trying to eat all the fresh vegetables, grass-fed, grass-fed beef, and meat. But we honestly don't know what else to do. I just heard him say about the colloidal silver.
Sure.
I don't know if we add that to our water too.
Okay, well, colloidal silver will still be good, because when you have these kind of things, you get secondary infections and things like that. So that'll help reduce the risk of that sort of thing. But also, let's see here. He weighs 100 and...
Oh, Jerry, how much do you weigh? Jerry, how much do you weigh?
210 pounds.
210 pounds.
Okay,
Jerry.
210.
And
Okay.
how tall?
6. Well, he just shrunk to 5'9". He used to be 6.
Okay. So anyway, at 210, he needs to get rid of all the bad foods which you're working on. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, brown, round oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. You also
Yes,
need...
all that gone except for oils. It's just olive oil.
Okay, got to get rid of that, because it oxidizes and turns into stuff that causes cancer. Okay.
Oh.
Then he needs, at 200 pounds, he needs 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month. Take a full dose of breakfast, full dose of dinner. That maximizes the nutrition to his immune system and every organ and tissue in his body. He also needs, okay, with this going on, he needs the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. He needs the Ultimate Daily Classic tablet. Him take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, or dinner time. And they're going to help support. Now, does he still have his kidneys, or they're all removed? Or
He only has one kidney, and that's the left side.
okay.
And there is no garbage food. It took about 3 months to get rid of it. The only thing that he eats are vegetables, protein, and every once in a while, as a dessert, fruit. That's it.
Okay.
Nothing else. And water. No smoking, no drinking, never have.
Okay. So again, 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, a full dose for breakfast and dinner. He needs 2 bottles a month of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. And the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, he needs to take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, or dinner time. They're going to help support kidney health, blood flow through blocked arteries, regardless of what's causing the blocked arteries. Okay, very, very important. Supports the immune system, supports heart health, brain health, all that kind of stuff. He also needs the I-26 for brain health and spinal cord health. I-26. I like the chewables. I like the French vanilla. I take 3 of those twice a day. Okay. At 210 pounds, he could take 3 times a day. So he'll go through 2 bottles a month of the chewables. But we do have also the banana coconut. Okay, it's our biggest seller, the banana coconut. Okay.
The vanilla is the biggest seller, Dr. Wallach.
Is it? Okay.
The French vanilla.
Okay.
And he has gallstones. They're gallbladder stones, or stones in the gallbladder.
Yeah, well, he needs our let's see here. He needs our digestion program. We have our digestes. Okay.
The enzymes, ultimate enzymes.
Ultimate enzymes. Okay. And so he could go ahead and take 2 or 3 of those. I'd have him take 3 10, 15 minutes before each meal. You want those enzymes waiting for the food to get down there. You don't want to be taking it 10, 15 minutes after the meal, because then the enzymes be chasing the food and never get to where they need to be to do their job. Okay.
Okay.
And so that's where you want to go. Support the immune system, support the digestion system, and stay away from the bad stuff, which puts a load on the defense system. Okay. And keep
So
us in
no coconut oil or avocado oil, no oils.
no oils.
What happens with the coconut, the 3 oils?
Well, they oxidize and turn into trans fats and cause cancer.
Oh, okay. Well, we've cut
You have to
everything out
appreciate, you see, people started using that kind of stuff 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. And, they'd live to be 25, 50, 75. That was it.
Can we cook in butter?
Well, yes, you can cook in butter, but
Low
no
temp-
frying. You can bake, you can roast, you can grill
Okay.
lightly, but no frying.
Okay. And what about parasites? Like never, like you deworm animals. What about human beings?
Well, you can check parasites. You can take a stool sample to the veterinarian and they can see if there's parasites.
Okay.
Dr. Wallach, they don't do that anymore.
They don't do that anymore?
They won't do that anymore.
No, and when you go to the regular doctor, they're like, you have to poop out worms and show it. But I know that I was told that we have worms in us somewhere, and they're having more research about Alzheimer's and worms and brains. And well, we've never dewormed. We've dewormed our animals, but not us.
And the GI cleanse that we mentioned just a bit ago, that's G.I. cleanse, can be found on our Daily with Doc website. So if you're not working with somebody, we do have a store that has all the products that Dr. Wallach is mentioning on that store. But if you are working with somebody, make sure that you get back with them and say, what is your preferred method of getting these products? And
Okay, we
let
don't have
them help
anybody.
you.
It was just me
So-
finding you.
Okay,
Yeah.
so give us a call. You can give us a call at 855-949-3377. Again,
Okay.
855-949-3377. And one of our certified holistic health coaches will be able to help you, and they'll have Dr. Wallach's recommendations as well.
Excellent. And then I'm not asking another question as far as in detail, but I have nothing for me. So can they help me as well? I'm healthy.
Absolutely.
I'm just older.
Absolutely. We all need the 90 essential nutrients, even just to maintain our good health.
Oh, thank you. You're so
Okay.
beautiful, Becca. It's nice to say hi to you.
Thank you, Stephanie. That's so sweet. Okay, make sure you call.
I will. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you.
Blessings to
Bye.
you. All right. Now, Dr. Wallach, let's try to fit in another question.
Have to
And-
squeeze in. You have to squeeze. You got to go fast.
Got to squeeze it in. So, Gloria, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello, I'm here. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Yes.
Hey, Dr. Wallach, good to see you. I have a question. I have a cousin who has a ruptured intestines in her stomach. She has hypoglycemia. She's hypoglycemic. She's type 1 diabetes. She has a disease called sepsis, SEPSIS. She is 5'4". She is 38 years old and weighs 125 pounds. And
Okay.
wants to know what
125 pounds. I didn't quite get what's going on with the stomach.
she has a ruptured intestines.
Okay, ruptured intestine.
Uh-huh.
Is she on antibiotics?
Probably so. Yes.
Okay. And she weighs 100 pounds?
125.
125 pounds. Okay. Get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no brown rice, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. And then need 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. Take a half a dose of breakfast, half a dose at dinner time. Need the ultimate daily classic tablets. Take 2 twice a day. Okay. For blood flow through blocked arteries, for kidney function, heart function, brain function. also need the ultimate enzymes, okay, for the digestion because of the stomach issues. Go ahead and take 2 or 3 of those, say 10, 15 minutes before each meal. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. And then, what am I missing here, Becca?
For the sepsis, Dr. Wallach,
Well, for the sepsis, that's what the colloidal silver is for.
and
Oh,
how
so
about the killer biotic as well?
Yeah, killer biotic, sure, absolutely. Killer biotic. Go ahead and take that. Let's see
Say
here.
like 2 twice a day.
Okay, 2 twice a day, and then also silver, a dropper full under the tongue on the right side, dropper full on the tongue on the left side, say 5 or 10 minutes before each meal and before bedtime. And that should take care of the bugs, viruses, bacteria, fungus, and yeast. So give us a call every couple of weeks because you're going to have a great story. And let us keep in touch because these are the sort of things we run into hundreds of times a day all over the world. And doctors want to give a single either pills or injection of an antibiotic, and that's not going to cut it.
So, Dr. Wallach, when looking at a ruptured intestine, that's a breakdown of connective tissue of the body. Is that correct?
It's possibly what happened. Could have been pinched, okay, fallen on something, and okay. It could be again need some glucogel to build up the connective tissue in the intestinal wall. In the support of the intestines, because it's not just thrown in there, it's hanging by all this connective tissue, so it's not flopping around.
And how about, would MSM Ultra be beneficial?
Yeah, MSM Ultra is a great builder for connective tissue. I take 3 of those twice a day. Okay.
Me too.
Yeah, and so that's a good add-on. Absolutely cannot hurt. And it goes back to the days when people were doing the let's see here, they would go ahead and boil the bones, have bone broth every morning. That went on for thousands of years. People had bone broth, and then finally, when they had antibiotics and stuff, people said, "That's not too stinky and messing up the house. We're not going to do bone broth anymore." But they still kept getting problems, and so that's why I invented the glucogel to replace the bone broth.
Well, Dr. Wallach, I'm thankful for the glucogel because I started on the pig pack. The glucogel is part of it, including the plant-derived minerals being part of it, the Osteo FX being part of it, the tangy tangerine, the ultimate EFA plus. And, I was a mess, and now I'm thankful to say that I've been able to let all that go. It's all in the past, and it's because of your research, your divine direction, I believe, to be able to take your research, put it into formulas, and help not just the animal world, but the human world as well. And my hat's off to you, Dr. Wallach. Thank you so much for starting this crusade that I am proud to be part of.
Thank you, Becca.
And we continue.
Okay. And of course, we have a program if they want to, how we figured all that out. That is
yes. So the audacity of health again, folks. You can go to DIYWithDocWallach.org. There is a health evaluation on that site as well. If you are not working with anybody, then feel free to take that health evaluation. But if you are working with somebody, please get back with them and say, hey, do you have a health evaluation that I can take so that we can look at all 4 areas of health and what might be what I need? Okay. We want to make sure that we maintain the integrity of our community. This program is a resource for thousands and thousands of independent longevity distributors. So if you're working with anybody or if you heard about us from somebody, they are the person that you need to go to for help. We provide information to help you know what questions to ask. So get back with the person that shared this program with you. If there is no one to thank, I do have an amazing team of certified holistic health coaches that you can give a call at 855-949-3377, or you can email us at questions@dailywithdoc.com and get information to help you on your health journey. So you can go from crisis to triumph like I have. And Dr. Wallach, just thank you so much for all that you've done, all that you continue to do. I know you've got a busy schedule and need to get ready for your next program, as today, Wednesday, is one of your busiest days. You are absolutely fantastic. And I know as my team comes on, each and every one of them, well, don't replace the spotlights, just add to the spotlight. All right. We need to make sure that we're adding spotlight and get Dr. Wallach back on here as well, because each and every one of us have benefited from Dr. Wallach's recommendations. And we each have our own triumph of overcoming things in our own health that we are able to share and support. What, Doc?
I have to run.
You have to run. Okay, we're going to let Dr. Wallach run and put him into the waiting room. But folks, I could not do this program without my team. We have Sherry, who's part of the tech team, and getting things set, helping with getting things set up so that we are streaming to the different platforms. So if you're watching on one of these different platforms, let us know that you're there. Most importantly, make sure that you subscribe and follow us, depending on whatever platform it is that you're at. And if there is a way that to let us know, send us a comment, send us some love. And most of all, share this program with somebody you know and love, because it could have information that helps them change their health journey. Thank you, Sherry. We have Marilyn, who is putting information into the chat as dictation, sharing what Dr. Wallach and any of the guests are bringing to the program, and putting it into the chat. So everything went black, but I know I'm still here. And if you're just watching on one of the streams and you'd like to see what's being shared because you can't write fast enough, Marilyn can type that fast and faster. So join us Monday through Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific time at zoom.dailywithdoc.com. And you'll be able to take advantage of what's being put in the chat there. So thank you so much, Marilyn, for bringing that skill to our table. And we have Ruth Ellen, who is our executive production manager, who helps to keep us all organized and making sure that if there's a need, we have somebody that is feeling that need for the show, for the team. Thank you so much, Ruth Ellen, for doing that. We have Phyllis, who has been with Dr. Wallach probably almost the longest of anybody, where she and her husband were instrumental in getting Dr. Wallach on the radio in the first place, which I am honored to be able to share her and her efforts and help her and her efforts in this program. Because if it wasn't for her and her husband, Andy, the program that I heard would not have been there. So thank you so much, Phyllis and Andy. I've got Dr. Wallach calling me right now. We have Albert, who is letting people into the Zoom room and letting them be able to hear this program live. And who's not on the screen? Oh, well, we got two people not on the screen that are here with us. We've got Rod, who's out there on the different platforms as well. Thank you, Rod. And we have AJ, the man who is running our program that pushes this out onto the different platforms. And that is AJ, who has been very instrumental in helping us get on these platforms and meeting you where you're at. Folks, If you have any desire to be part of something bigger than you, something that can help you have or find or increase your purpose in this life, seriously take a look at being part of the Longevity family. Get back with the person that shared this program with you. Again, if there's no one to thank, feel free to give us a call, 855-949-3377. If you would prefer, you can write info@DailywithDoc.com and write in your request for more information about being part of this amazing community where you yourself are in charge of your own business. We're here to help you, and we have tools to help you do that as well in helping others find optimal health. Folks, my name is Becca Dukes. Thank you so much for investing just over an hour into your own health. You are worth it. Realize that. And let us help you realize that as well. We're here for you. Until next time, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Bye for now. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach.